Seller Central Overview and Requirements. In this lesson, you're going to discover what Seller Central is and, most importantly, what you need to be able to create your account. So what is Seller Central? Seller Central is an online dashboard that controls every aspect of your Amazon business. It allows complete control from one location. This includes your product listing, inventory, promotions, advertising, and a whole range of important reports. And each marketplace has its own Seller Central dashboard. Different account types. So Amazon has two different types of Seller Central account. An individual account. This is a starter account for those selling low numbers and is charged per item. It also has limited access to certain features. And a professional account. This is for those selling high numbers and has access to all the features within Seller Central, but there is a monthly charge of $39.99. So we highly recommend you start with the professional account. If you don't, you will need to upgrade to the professional account before ordering your inventory anyway. Plus, if you do upgrade, there is a possibility your account could be put under review. And while this is relatively easy to overcome, it will delay things. So if you do choose individual against our recommendations, then make sure you bear that in mind. Business or personal. Now, when creating your Seller Central account, you can use your personal details to start and then change to a business once you have created it. If you use your business or company details for the USA, you will need an EIN number if your company is USA based. Now, there is no need to wait until your LLC or company is set up, or even to create either of those things. However, this does not apply to the UK and Germany. You will not be able to change your business details. Or at the very least, it's a very complicated and lengthy process. So what you need? First, an email address, preferably a unique email address just for your Seller Central account. And please do not use ASM anywhere in your email address. Your name, and that's either your name or your business name if you've created a company. Your address, if that's your address, or your business address. Deposit method, this is what Amazon calls a bank account essentially, and it's a bank account or third-party service for receiving your Amazon payments. And a charge method. This is a credit card for paying your monthly fee and advertising costs. It's worth noting that once you start selling, both of these things can be taken direct from your account without having to charge your credit card. Documentation. You may well be asked for documentation to prove your identification. And I'm going to cover documentation in detail in a later lesson because it is critically important. So where you live matters. Where you live does have an impact on what you will need when you create your Seller Central account. This is related primarily to the deposit method and credit card. Amazon are now requiring proof of identity, and so methods that worked in the past no longer work. All the information has to be 100% real, as you might be asked to prove the information you use. Deposit method and credit card. Amazon will only make direct payments into a bank account in certain countries. If you are not in one of those countries, you can use a third-party service like Payoneer and World First. Lastly, there are countries which Amazon do not allow accounts to be set up from. And essentially there are 4 groups of countries, and you can download a PDF below this lesson covering all countries. So Group 1. Amazon will pay directly into a bank account in any country in Group 1. And this is the easiest group by far. You can use all your local information. This includes bank account, in other words deposit method, credit card, name, address, etc. There is no additional information or services you need. Group 2. This group covers all countries where Amazon will not pay directly into a bank account. If you live in one of these countries, then you need to use a third-party service to receive payments. We recommend 2 different services and we will cover them in another lesson. Now, if your country is in Group 2, you can use all your other local information like credit card, address, etc. But make sure your credit card can make international payments. You can simply ask your credit card company or bank. Group 3. So these are countries which Amazon currently permits Seller Central accounts to be set up from, however do not show a bank option or the Payoneer option. If you live in one of these countries, you can currently use your own information except the deposit method. For the deposit method, use Payoneer, but select USA for location of the bank when you add your deposit method. Group 4. These are countries which Amazon do not currently permit Seller Central accounts to be set up from. If you live in one of these countries, there are some ways around it. However, it is not guaranteed and you have to be very careful to follow the following guidelines. Trusted friend or family member. If you have a friend or family member living in a Group 1 or Group 2 country, get them to open the account for you using their information. Obviously, you will need to trust this person. You must get them to create the account for you using all their information, not any of yours. And do not log in using their user and password. Once the account is approved, get them to add you as a user in seller permissions. Creating an LLC. Create an LLC or company in an allowed country, preferably the USA. However, you will need a bank account and address for this LLC. This will probably require a visit to the country where the LLC or company is based. You can also get around this by adding a friend or family member in that country to your LLC as a partner. They will then be allowed to open the bank account for you, in other words, the company. Again, they must complete the Seller Central account for you. Once it is approved, then get them to add you as a user. So wrap up on what's next. So what we covered the different types of Seller Central account and why where you live matters, including the 4 different groups of countries. What's next? A walkthrough of the third-party deposit method services. Action step: download the country's PDF and determine what country group you are located in. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.